What's going on, everybody? It's your host Sycogenesis, and this week we're covering tip 7, which is don't join a ranked game pretty much in any PvP game if you cannot handle criticism. Now, there are multiple layers of criticism. There is good criticism, constructive criticism, and just flat out blunt honesty who people use and use it as a front to be an asshole, whatever. You get what I'm saying. Now, the reason why I say this is because there are certain games that focus certain things on more than others, like, for instance, Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm is literally the first of its genre to actually implement, or I wouldn't say implement, but severely focus on teamwork, because they have things called objectives, map objectives. Every map has an objective, a teamwork objective. Now, some of them are severely critical, and some of them you can win without using them, and some of them you just flat out can't win, period, without them. Now, before I go into more, I'm going to show you the first example, which is Towers of the Doom. Now, instead of me blabbing on for 10 minutes trying to figure out, what to say and how to explain it best, I'm just going to say, watch this.
Towers of Doom is a large, 3-lane battleground that serves as a contest between two of the Nexus' powerful realm lords. Heroes are recruited to serve either the Raven Lord, Guardian of Ravencourt, or the Gravekeeper, a being who has been manipulating heroes in an effort to gain power in the Haunted Mines. Towers of Doom is a distinctly different battleground than all others currently found in the Nexus. Heroes cannot damage the opposing team's core directly. Instead, they must capitalize on the map's central objective to find victory. Scattered around the battleground are 6 bell towers set inside distinct locations. Your team will begin each game in control of the 3 locations nearest your core. From here, your team must do what they can to protect these locations while simultaneously working to destroy the towers under your enemy's control. Destroying an enemy tower will cause a friendly tower to spawn in its place, and will have a direct impact on the second active component of this battleground, the altars. Periodically, altars will spawn in 4 potential locations. Once present on the map, an altar can be channeled. If channeled successfully, each tower under the channeler's control, as well as their own core, will launch a single projectile at the opposing team's core. Each projectile deals a single point of damage, with each core consisting of 40 total health. In the chance case your team manages to wrangle control of all 6 locations on this battleground, your core will begin to steadily bombard the enemies until the 6 cap is broken or the game ends. We have added an area in front of the opposing base that is powerfully defended by cannons. We call this area the kill zone. You'll want to stay out of here. Alongside the central objective, teams can pursue the support of mercenary camps and a boss. Each mercenary camp consists of 3 sappers. Once captured, the trio will push against enemy towers inside their lane of travel. Each sapper utilizes small AoE attacks while in lane, but their real strength is unleashed in proximity to enemy structures. Here they will careen themselves directly into buildings, dealing massive damage to the area. If all towers are under your team's control, sappers will move directly toward the enemy's base. Upon reaching the kill zone, sappers will launch themselves at the enemy core, dealing a point of damage each. Due to their significant potential against structures, it is wise to escort them to an ideal destination, rather than allowing an enemy to take them out prematurely. World of Warcraft players may recognize the boss on Towers of Doom as the Headless Horseman of Hallow's End. Should your team manage to defeat this legendary menace, his cellar door will open, firing 4 projectiles at the enemy's core. Lastly, we have added a new transportation tunnel to this battleground, which opens up around 12 minutes into a game. Utilize this to go directly from your base to the center of the battleground instantly. Keep in mind, however, that travel is one way, and the exit point is shared by both teams. Defend your towers, take your enemies, and use altars to assault the opposing team's core. Control of the realm is at stake. Will the Towers of Doom serve you or your destruction?
Alright, so now you know how Towers of the Doom works. Now, basically, the reason why I use that as the first example is because that is a map where you cannot win by yourself. And the reason, yet again, the reason why I use heroes as an example is because there is a mentality that you have to change when coming from League, Dota, basically any other MOBA when you come into heroes. Okay? Because in other MOBAs, they don't focus on objectives. They focus, or I wouldn't say objectives, they don't focus on critical objectives, like you saw there. The basic objectives in every other MOBA, it's just either get camps, win team fights, and push the core, That's not how it is in Heroes. So that's why the mentality of, okay, well, if this person sucks and they're bringing us down, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to lose. That just means that I have to carry harder. So I'm just going to worry about me, and I'm going to push, and we're going to win, and that's it. That mentality doesn't work here. Because the reason Heroes is so different in that regard is because when one person fucks up in Heroes, everybody gets fucked. Because of the objective. Now, a perfect example of this is I had a game a few days ago. It was actually Towers of Doom. It was an unranked because I have rules about that, but whatever. We were in a quick match, right? I was with a pre-made friend, a viewer friend of mine, and we were going back and forth with these people who basically ended up making us lose the game because there was a second pre-made in the group. And one was a guy who acted like he knew what he was doing, and then there was a guy who literally was on his fourth game. Literally his fourth game. And I could tell this guy was severely sensitive or one of those people who just could not take criticism, because what he ended up doing was, since, as you saw where the altars are, right? I took the one on the top left, and I expected him to take the one on the far right because he was going towards it, right? So I left the right side one alone, and I went for the left one. By the time I had finished capturing the left one, the right one was still up, and he was nowhere to be found. What had happened was, as soon as he went to the right one, he immediately went down to the middle and joined a team fight. Now, granted, he was a tank, but still, there are certain objectives where this is a map where objectives trump team fights. Because there was only 3 points up. We had 2 out of 3, and he left it. So, and actually what ended up happening was I went to go try to capture the second one, but by that time my team had already died in the team fight, and they had made their way up to the second point to cap it. Now, this was a critical time because we really needed that, but by losing that one, we actually got fucked. And throughout the rest of the match, I'm saying, well, because at the time I didn't know it was literally his fourth game, so I was like, why did you do that? You basically cost us the game, etc., etc. You don't ever take team fights over an easily obtainable objective on this map period. And other people started harking on him, the rude way, calling him an idiot, all this other shit. And then that's probably what triggered him. But then his other friend were like, well, this is his fourth fucking game, blah, blah, blah. You guys shouldn't be so mean to him. I was like, I'm not being mean. I pointed out a fact. I was like, and honestly, I didn't know it was his fourth game. And truth be told, if this is his fourth game, then you are actually at fault, not him. Because you're his friend. You're supposed to tell him how to play these games and how important the objective is more over the team fights, unless he doesn't. So I had no beef with the actual, the new guy. I had literally no beef with him. Because I understood. It's like, okay, well, you don't know what you're doing, that's fine. you're pre-made with a guy who clearly should know what he's doing. It's his fault, not yours. So, but they both just started going on and off about each other, you know, acting childish with the other childish people, and it's like, this is why I don't play these games, because of people like you. And I'm like, yes, MOBAs and PvP in general have toxic people. You're never going to get away from that. Ever. Ever. It's never going to happen. People need to accept that. It's never going to happen. Because there's never going to be consequences for actual severe consequences or serious consequences for being an asshole to people online. There really isn't. So, you have to do that's something you have to accept going into any PvP type game. Hell, even PvE has that shit. Try raiding, okay? Try raiding and fucking up and then having a hard ass for a raid leader and then tell me that he doesn't chew your ass out for doing something wrong. Okay? You will never escape that shit from fucking games unless you're playing a single player RPG. That's just human mentality. People don't like other people fucking up and bringing them down. That is the point. That is the whole point of not being able to take criticism. You're gonna never enjoy the game. So if you're a sensitive person, and honestly, if you're a sensitive person, you know, some games do have the aspect where you can turn off chat. If you're a sensitive person, I highly suggest that. But it's also going to diminish your actual ability to learn, because for every asshole, there's a person who's an asshole, but they're not being an asshole to you. They're just okay. That was a bad comparison. What was a good comparison? For every asshole, there's a person out there who's trying to teach you something. There was a great phrase for that. I had it. I was ready to use it, and then I lost it. And I was like, fuck me. Anyways, turning off the chat will basically kill your ability to learn. Okay? If you don't watch YouTube clips like these or watch streamers who teach, you're never going to learn, especially if you think that you're not doing anything wrong. So, like, if you turn off the chat, you don't watch clips like these, and you don't watch streamers, how are you ever going to improve yourself? Huh? You might play a game for 5 years, never watch a stream, never watch a fucking video, and never chat. And you think you're awesome, but you've been doing it wrong this whole entire time for 5 years. You know? That is the sole purpose of MOBA etiquette, is to help people who want help. Now, that's basically it. Okay, to summarize, if you cannot take criticism, do not play PvP games. It's probably less frequent in PvE, but if you're in a ranked situation, people take ranked I wouldn't say everybody. Most people take ranked very seriously because they don't like being brought down by people that they have no control over. Okay? So when you do something wrong, depending on how they came at it about it, you can either mute them or you can keep a level head and try to see if they really have anything to teach you. And if they're just calling you names and shit, obviously they ain't got shit to teach you. But if they're literally trying to tell you why you fucked up or what you did wrong, take that time to learn and better yourself as a player. Because if you don't better yourself as a player, you're going to be stuck in the same toxic area for the rest of your fucking gaming life on that game, and you'll never have fun, and you'll never experience how fun the game actually can be when people all together just work together and don't bitch at each other and slap each other with their dicks because they think they're fucking e-thugs and whatnot, okay? Just remember, online anonymity is an excuse for people to be douchebags, and it will never go away. But wait, there's more. We still gotta go over example 2. Now, example 2. That's basically... Example 2 is Blackheart's Bay. Blackheart's Bay is a map where the objective is important, but it's not crucial to winning. Now, basically, this is Blackheart's Bay in a nutshell. Right here.
Hello and welcome to a battleground overview for Blackheart's Bay in Heroes of the Storm. Blackheart's Bay is a 3-lane battleground with a ghostly ship at its center. This ship is the property of the pirate captain Blackheart, and it's up to you and your team to convince him to turn his cannons against your opponent's fortifications. Teams can motivate Blackheart to align with their efforts by collecting and turning over golden doubloons, accessible across the field of battle. Doubloons can be acquired in a variety of ways, including treasure chests that spawn periodically, mercenary camps, or killing other heroes that are actively carrying coins of their own. Once enough doubloons have been collected, your team can deposit them with Blackheart and enjoy the satisfying sensation of a ghost ship raining fiery destruction upon the opposing team. Maintaining map vision while being ever on the move are 2 important things to consider when playing on Blackheart's Bay. Keep an eye on your opponent and anticipate their decisions. Is the opposing team hoarding doubloons? Heading for a turn-in at Blackheart? Grabbing merc camps? Or pushing towards your core? Keeping tabs on your opponent will spell the difference between staying in the game and falling behind. Will greed or perseverance prevail on Blackheart's Bay? Only one way to find out.
Okay, so you see how different that is compared to Towers of Doom, where the objective isn't severely important, but it is important. Like, you will have a hard time out pushing those cannons if you don't gather those coins. Now, the whole teamwork, that's a map where teamwork is also needed, okay? Because you're going to need people to back you up to turn those coins in. What if the enemy team is always guarding that turning point and you're by yourself? 9 times out of 10, you're not going to win. So that, again, teamwork. You know, so that also that's also why people get mad at ranked. People get mad at people who don't do what they feel, you know, is the right thing to do or shit like that. Nobody really knows the exact thing of what to do, but there are common logical things like focus this, go here, go there, don't ignore this, don't ignore that, you know. So, and that's basically it, the 2 examples. You know, like, if you cannot handle people, you know, giving you either any type of criticism, then, like I said, just don't bother, because it's just not worth it. It really isn't.